This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. This is Money Moves on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Huge day in the NFL as we kick off Week 16 today as we welcome you into Money Moves, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Stormy, Buonantony, Jonathan Von Tobel with you, holding it down for the next 2 hours. We're live in downtown Las Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino, coming up in 30 minutes. Longtime veteran odds maker Nick Bogdanovich going to be on the program as well, talk through where some of the money is moving. But I had this whole grand plan of how I was going to open the show, and then you hit me with a beverage that's called a hurritane, and I don't know where to go from this. Like, what is in that?
No idea.
You don't even know what's it. You said it was the best, one of the best drinks you've ever had.
It is, and there's tang in it. I know that. Stormy was referring to, we were on the topic as the Super Bowl approaches and Super Bowl trips, and I was lucky enough to go out to New Orleans, as people on the network might know, as I did my show from there for a little bit with humans. And, the hurritane out on Bourbon Street was like the best drink that I've had. I couldn't tell you what's in it. I know tang is part of it, but that's about it.
So it's like orange flavored?
Oh, yeah.
Vodka,
orange.
Maybe?
Sure. Like at the top, like they pour it in and then like they top it off with some sort of alcoholic shot of some sort,
I feel like that probably is the recipe for a good drink, is if you just don't know what's in it and it just goes down smooth.
Right. Also, I mean, let's be honest, I could have been told like the nuclear codes that night. I'm not remembering that much, so.
Fantastic. So, okay. I was very curious. You dropped that bomb on me about 17 seconds before we opened the show. And I was like, what is that? I need more information.
For our audience, the way our shows work in the minutes leading up to us getting on the air, it's Stormy furiously doing her job and her nose buried in the laptop, trying to be a professional. And it's me just peppering her with things over and over again, whether it's actually sports related or otherwise. So.
And going through photo albums, pulling up pictures, all that. So, that's our relationship. It is what it is, but it's a fun one. And that said, we do have a lot of sports-related specific stuff we got to get into, bets to be made. So let's set the table with everything that's to come today on the program. This is the Rundown.
It's time for the top headlines and topics of the day. This is the Rundown.
So coming up in about 15 minutes, we're going to dive into what is a 12-game NBA slate, JVT. And after having just 3 combined games the last 2 nights, a full card, a welcome sight.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Some big injuries that we should monitor, including Trae Young making his return after a 22-game absence tonight against your Charlotte Hornets, our Charlotte Hornets, dare we say. So interesting game there. The Los Angeles Clippers, fresh off of being embarrassed by one of the Spencer brothers, now have to go out on the road to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder, and more with everything in between. So really looking forward to it. This is one of the better cards in the last week or two. So I'm really looking forward to just sitting down later tonight watching them all on top of some other stuff.
We are also going to go bowling here a little bit. Lone bowl of the day is the Xbox Bowl between Missouri State and Arkansas State. But of course, tomorrow we are starting the CFP first round in earnest with Alabama and Oklahoma. We'll get into that, all 4 of the games. And we did get one winner with ODU yesterday. They won outright. I think maybe that should be a mindset moving forward if it's not already in some of these short spread bowl games. If you're betting the dog, maybe just sprinkle the money line too, because I feel like more often than not, you're betting on the team to win.
We did not get a winner. You did. So you had it, ODU.
You trusted my analysis, though.
I did. Old Dirty You got it done for you. And I'm actually looking forward to, you're going to be hitting the road. Not looking forward to your absence. Looking forward to your analysis of James Madison. You'll have them. And looking forward to any other nuggets, including you tried to get me last night in the text message. This is a steel trap, though. I know everything, including the former UNLV quarterback Matthew Sluka is on the roster for James Madison.
I didn't try to get you. I was just like, I forgot to tell you this item. And then the fact that you instantly pulled up, no, I've not. The fact that you instantly pulled up a tweet of a former colleague of yours saying, playoff appearances, UNLV, Barry Odom, 0, Matthew Sluka, 1. Pretty clutch. That said, we're going to kick things off talking Thursday Night Football. We got a huge game to kick off the week. Who is the best in the NFC West? As Los Angeles Rams and Seattle Seahawks go head-to-head, a big game not only for the division, but 1-seed implications in the NFC. Both teams 11-3. Both also tied for the best ATS records in the National Football League, as well at 10-4 against the number. If the Rams win, JVT, they'd get the season sweep against Seattle, but they would also leap to a 90% chance to earn the 1 seed. If Seattle wins, they improve from 29% up to better than 53% and still have 2 road games against Carolina and San Francisco remaining. the market most of the week was very confused about what to do with this game. We saw each team favored at 1 point, 1.5 on either side. And then midway through yesterday, it seems like the market has officially committed to Seattle being the side, laying that 1.5, even 2's a handful of spots, including where we're broadcasting from here at Circa.
Yeah, and it's something that just from the number, I would disagree with. I mean, we've done our market power ratings all year long, all throughout the year, save for about 2 weeks ago. I updated home field because that's where we were heading to 2 points. So if you're rolling just with the premise of home field being 1.5 to 2 points, either one, for weeks, for every single week of the season, actually, we should say. Every single week of this season, the betting market has told us that the Rams are the better team than the Seattle Seahawks. Whatever point degree, 2, 3, whatever, it has always been considered the better team. Here we are tonight. They meet again for a second time, and the market says, another equals. That, to me, just doesn't really jive with where we've been at, especially as we get into the reasons why. You look at Seattle's offense, the unbalanced nature of it, the poor play from Sam Darnold in these recent weeks. It's just a number that I look at, and I do not agree with having Seattle as a 1.5 point favorite here.
And I'm sure there are a handful of reasons as to why the market is kind of stuck on this side now, but one of them, I imagine, being the performance in that first game. And even though we saw the Los Angeles Rams win that game by 2, it was a game in which Sam Darnold had 0 touchdowns and threw 4 interceptions, and they still had a chance to win it at the end, lining up for a long field goal. When all is said and done, like, I am on the Rams in this spot. I took the 2. I believe you're on Los Angeles as well. Even without, and this is another big element of, I imagine, why Seattle's getting played here, no Devontae Adams on the other side. Or at least he's listed as doubtful, and it doesn't seem like most people are optimistic he would give it a go on the short week. Yeah,
and look, maybe that's probably why the dynamic between these two teams has tightened a little bit. But I do think, given this offense, their ability to adjust, the level of quarterback play, the depth at receiver, that I don't think that you're going to. I don't think Adams' absence is warranting a 2-point adjustment there in that range for the Los Angeles Rams. I can understand why you would think that there is some sort of downgrade, but I still don't get here, even with Adams not being available for Los Angeles tonight.
You mentioned some of Sam Darnold's issues that he has had of late. You pulled this clip. ESPN NFL analyst Dan Orlovsky was asked if Seattle's a Super Bowl contender with Sam Darnold, and in his response, he laid out some of what those shortcomings have been. Here, take a listen.
Yeah, the way that Sam is playing right now, they cannot go to the Super Bowl. The way that he has been playing for the last 4 or 5 weeks, they cannot go to the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold, and for everybody at home, pay attention to when Sam moves his feet, does he move to a different receiving target? That's where Sam has been stuck and struggling in the last 5 weeks, clicking through the progressions. It had been something he had mastered and become great at. In the last 5 weeks, it's become a liability. And if that doesn't get cleaned up fast, it's going to hold this offense back. The second thing, red zone timing. This offense in Seattle kicks a field goal 25% of the time. That's not going to win you Super Bowls. And so, like, that has to get improved. And I think it's a huge storyline for tonight. This is a one-trick pony offense, JSN. They can't run the football, and the pass game goes through JSN, and really only JSN right now. Shaheed has been nice. Cooper Kupp has had some moments, the tight ends. But right now, the most confident in the thing they do best is throw the ball to JSN.
Again, that's Dan Orlovsky, audio courtesy of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. So
let's break this down, because much like Tua Tagovailoa, there's a really solid line of demarcation of when Sam Darnold was bad and when Sam Darnold was good. So weeks 1 through 9, we'll rattle off some numbers for you for Sam Darnold. 70.4% completion, 9.4 yards per attempt on 10.2 average depth of target, so 10 yards downfield. A 3.2 touchdown to interception ratio, and a turnover-worthy play rate of 2%. So elite numbers across the board. Remember, going into the first game, I think I called, I don't know if you would agree with me, that was an MVP eliminator, as we called it. Sam Darnold was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL going into that game against the Rams. In week 10 and onward, completion percentage dropped from 70.4% to 63.8% since they played the Rams. Yards per attempt, 9.4 down to 7.8. His average depth of target from 10.2 yards downfield to 8.1. And the most important part, these two to me, Turnover-worthy play rate from 2% to 5.5%, and a touchdown to interception ratio from 3.2 to just 1 flat. Every touchdown he's thrown another interception to it. He has completely regressed. And so you wonder, is it the level of defenses he's playing? Have they adjusted? Have teams sort of realized you can't run the ball, so we're just going to play light boxes? One of the things that's been pointed out, I don't know who tracks this. I think it was Mina Kimes who had this. The rate of disguised coverages he's facing since that Rams game has gone up exponentially. So pre-snap, what he's seeing versus post-snap, what he's seeing. Maybe that's all of that combined, but you've already pointed out a lot. They can't run the ball, and now all of a sudden their quarterback can't play. Yeah. Why is that going to change here today? I
agree with you. And that touchdown to interception ratio that you mentioned after what was such a great start, now 22nd in the NFL among these starting quarterbacks. You heard from Dan talking about settling for field goals in that game against Indianapolis that has a lackluster defense at best. All 18 of their points came from kicking field goals. That's not a recipe for success, especially against such a high-octane offense on the other side. And I know you have a great defense, and you are reliant on that. But how far ultimately can that get you? And I don't want to take the low-hanging fruit and be that person here on Sam Darnold, but it's December and big games. And that's been a part of his story for a long time. And even last year, we saw him turn to a pumpkin at the end of the year. Yeah, that's the troubling part about this is they're a one-dimensional offense with this quarterback who has not shown the ability to throw it. I think as we go a little bit further, like when we get to player props, there is an example to be made of the Rams defense maybe having some issues on the back end. Up front, I think they're very good, but maybe it is still a big day for Jackson Smith and Jigba, but the offense still struggles. And that's mainly a symptom of probably a high volume. But I just don't trust that Darnold's going to be able to break out of whatever this has been for the last 5 weeks. Also, coincidentally, nobody has a higher percentage of target share on their respective offenses in the NFL than Jackson Smith and Jigba and Puka Nacua on the other side, who, no injury designation for Puka, but he and his family members making a lot of headlines the last 24 hours. Yes. We might discuss that a little bit later as well. We got to take our first time out of the day. One last injury note, left tackle Charles Cross out for Seattle in this spot as well. When we come back, shifting gears to the NBA big card today, and JVT's got a lot of thoughts.
You're watching Money Moves here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back here on Money Moves, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. And before the line moves, remember the Sharp Plays is already there. They don't just follow the market, they help shape it. You're not going to outsmart billion-dollar sports books or full-time sharps on your own. But with the Sharp Plays, you don't have to. Powered by advanced AI, connected to proven insider sources, and active across the NFL, NBA, MLB, and college hoops. Sharp Plays delivers the serious edge bettors rely on. Free daily reports, real-time alerts, and market-moving insights sent straight to your inbox or X feed. And they've been backing it up with documented results since 2011. Public logs, transparent receipts, sharpplays.com. Trusted by the pros, monitored by the books. Stay ahead of the line at sharpplays.com. Rolling along, he's Jonathan Von Tobel, Stormy Buonantony with you. Got a big NBA slate and a big smirk and smile on your face. Why?
An advertisement for a watch party for Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul across my timeline just now in town.
You headed over?
Am I? I mean, can I read? I'm going to read a text that I sent to Dave Ross, host, of course, of Visa by the Books in the Morning with Jensen Lewis. I said, do you give a bleep or have any insight on Paul Joshua? He said, I have little interest. If it's a real fight, Joshua puts him in the hospital. If it's a Jake Paul fight, he carries him to the finish line. My response is, I have to think that if Joshua has any pride, he Fs him up and quickly. I got to tell you, I might be.
Okay.
Might be interested, You're out and about. You might go watch it, right?
Tonight?
No, Friday night.
Oh, it's on Friday night.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be out and about.
Yeah, you are. Why not?
I'll be game planning. I got a game the next day. I'll be busy. I'll be at home. Well, by at home, I mean in my hotel room. Working diligently.
Just fire up Netflix. Just check it out.
All right, yeah. I don't know. I tuned in for the Mike Tyson fight, and I didn't get a whole lot of that. And I got a lot of spinny wheel that day, so it's not exactly setting the best precedent.
By the way, that was incredible. Two things. First off, Circa, we watched it out here. That's going to be still top of my top 5 in terms of sporting events watched in whatever bar, casino. One of the best. It was great. The atmosphere was awesome. There's so many people out here. Not one pinwheel. I don't know what Circa paid for. Oh, no, I don't know what they paid for, what they did. We asked Eric about this. I can't remember what his answer was, but yeah, man, it was great. High quality, never broke. Watched the whole thing. Samich, myself, Matt Humans, we're all here watching. It was great.
Good for them. I did not have that same experience. I can tell you that much.
Only minus 1,000 for Anthony Joshua. Anyway, I digress.
Too cheap? Gotta lay it?
I mean, we can talk about it tomorrow.
Okay.
You're not here, so I can waste time tomorrow on it.
Let's get into the NBA card today because we do have, as you put in the rundown, 12 games, 24 teams in action. Math.
That's
Nailed
right.
it. Very true, including the New York Knicks, by the way, at the Indiana Pacers. And I wanted to start here just because I had the question of, are the Knicks still hungover from the Vegas NBA Cup celebration?
So they actually might be.
Really?
Well, because if you look at the injury report today, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson, and Karl Anthony Towns are all questionable to play today. So we know that we're going to get Jalen Brunson. However, 4 key role players all have a questionable tag next to their name. That would, to me, would indicate if there was a time that you were going to give some guys a day off, if you had a bingo, get out of free bingo card after a trip to Vegas where you're out there for a few days doing whatever you did after the trophy ceremony. I'm not sure they're, finals celebrating, but with a travel day in between, you're not taking in the lifestyle a little bit out here. You don't get to go to Vegas in the middle of the season every time. So probably some of that here. I'll be interested to see who plays and who doesn't by the time we get to tip off. And then you get the other angle of this, which is, how Indiana is. This was a very heated series. They played each other for a couple of seasons now in the postseason, with Indiana getting the best of them. It's going to be a fired up crowd when they get this Knicks squad in their building. It seems situationally that this would be a good spot to back Indiana, but there's a lot of injury noise here. So just keep an eye on it, what the injury report looks like. Anunoby, Hart, Robinson, and Karl Anthony Towns. I would expect you get a couple of them. I don't expect you get all of them, but the question is who.
Okay. Worth noting as well, JVT guest as he is every week on the Hardwood Handicappers podcast that came out today, breaking down these games and talking some futures as well, including, I know you had some thoughts on the New York Knicks, so that's a little tease for you to go listen to that program. The Washington Wizards most recently beat the Pacers by a pretty good margin, one of just 4 wins for them on the entire season. They have the San Antonio Spurs today on the road, and this is a game that just continues to get bet up in favor of the Spurs from 14.5 out to 16 in some spots, including at FanDuel, a big national book.
I took a bet. So I took 15 and it went down to 13.5. And I was like, cool. And then it went back up to 16. To me, it's just a numbers thing. So let's go back to what we just watched on Tuesday night against the New York Knicks. The market got pretty high on San Antonio, and that closed 2.5, and they end up losing and not covering that game. And I just think that we're maybe at the top of the market with San Antonio with these numbers. They're a team that I think is very good. I don't know if the gap between them and a team like Washington is this large. This is really just a sell at the top of the market for San Antonio, similar to what we talked about on Tuesday. I've called them every once in a while play of principles, which is just, hey, this is higher than what I think it should be. I'm just going to play it on principle, and we'll see if the spot dictates it. Remember, everybody is coming off of extended rest, the teams that did not play in Vegas. And just like we talked about with New York, Zach brought this up when we talked about it on Hardwood Handicappers today. You have to think, whether it's a hangover or whatever you want to call it, there's harder trips to be made from Las Vegas to San Antonio. But again, playing out there, being in Las Vegas for a few days, then coming back and playing host as a big favorite in a role that has not served you well and is, frankly, a foreign role for you as a team. I just feel like I'll take my chances with 15 with Washington. Like you said, got the raw end of the stick because this is up to 16 now, but theory still holds, so we'll test it tonight.
The team that they faced not too long ago in the NBA Cup, the Oklahoma City Thunder, is an even bigger favorite today against your LA Clippers. And listen, at least the team doesn't have to get invited to any more Halloween parties because Chris Paul is out of there.
So
Do you see that new layer to the report on all that? Anyways, OKC losing that game to San Antonio is the first time they lost a game outright since November 5th. It had been a hot minute. What do you think about this type of margin that they're asking for against LA?
Okay, so first off, he also invited his team out to a suite in the LA Rams game, and only 3 people showed up as well. So poor Chris Paul. Second, I wrote down in my notes, and it looks like there's some agreement with me. I just put plus 18. Really? Like the Clippers can't cover 18 points. They're old guys coming off of some rest. We should note no James Harden today, so that does matter for LA because he has been their lead guy, ball handler, creator. It eats a little bit. We'll talk about Zubac in a second. Eats a little bit there just because Zubac is a good lob threat, and James Harden, of course, is one that is great at dishing out those lobs. But I just felt like 18, I couldn't bring myself to do it. But 18 felt like a bridge too far, and here we are. It's at least down to 17.5, so maybe I was a little right. The play here, I think, is Zubac 24.5 points and rebounds is the number for him. I went over today, so no Harden. But on the other side, this is a pretty thin front court at center for OKC today. Hartenstein's not playing. Jalen Williams, the bigger one, is not playing. And so you're going to have Chet Holmgren playing center by himself, and then you're going to go pretty small after him. I would assume that means that, first off, Zubac, and if you look at some of the numbers without Hartenstein on the floor, this is a pretty poor offensive rebounding team, the Oklahoma City Thunder. So Zubac should be able to get some defensive rebounds, eat them up on the glass. If you look at the impact of the absence of Harden, one would think that maybe that hurts Zubac, but I think it actually means against the smaller front court, you're probably going to post them up a little bit more often. You're going to give them some more opportunities to work here today. I don't know how much signal there is here, but I will rattle this off really quickly. In the one game without Harden, 23 points, 11 rebounds on 14 shot attempts. He averages 11 in the games with Harden, so shot a couple of more times in that game, whatever it means. I think that with the smallish front court, and the fact that even when Chet is out there, that's a really big size mismatch that he's going to win physically. I think Zubac could have a big day here today. So over 24.5 points and rebounds for him. And I will note, too, this is one that I also have. Chet Holmgren under 1.5 blocks. So, again, if you look at some of the numbers, when Harden's not out there, the Clippers do not take shots at the rim at all. It's floating around like 20% of their attempts. It's a very, very low number. The opportunities for Holmgren to block shots at the rim are going to be few and far between. And I think that looking at that to go under 1.5, when he's not in his traditional role of help defender coming in to protecting the rim, you can get under that as well.
You teased it earlier. Looks like Trae Young is going to come back from his knee injury against the Charlotte Hornets today. And we've seen this bet up in Atlanta's favor from as low as 3.5 to 5.5, 6 here at Circa, where we're broadcasting from.
So I'd love to hear anybody's thoughts on this. This was one of these, I wanted to think out loud about topics with Trae Young. So point total was 18.5 at last look. I haven't checked for about an hour or so. He's averaging 17.5, so right in range with what his average is. But I'm going to read you this quote, and I asked Zach about this. This is Trae Young. Quote, "For me, since day one, I've always felt I was a puzzle piece to the big puzzle. I never felt like I was the whole puzzle. I'm about to come back in and do the same thing, just be another piece to the puzzle and try to fit in." They've played 22 games without him. He's already done a little bit more with his game. Scoring's down. He's setting more screens. He's buying into being a little bit of a role player. I haven't seen whether or not he's going to be on a minutes restriction, but the betting market is throwing up his average scoring game and saying, have at it. I would say a guy who's willing to say he just wants to be kind of a piece as opposed to the machine, who's coming off of a 22-game layoff, 18.5 does seem like a lot for him. So I was leaning toward under 18.5 points for Trae Young today.
I think that makes a lot of sense just from a narrative standpoint. This is a guy it's his first game back in a really long time, trying to ease himself in and making comments like that. It all comes together. On that note, we do need to step aside here real quickly. When we come back, looking forward to having Nick Bogdanovich on the program, veteran, longtime odds maker, doing work right now at Boomer Sportsbook. And I heard a comment from Mike Palm earlier on VSiN by the Books about how some of these college football playoff games are getting bet. Only one of them really taking significant action. Curious if Nick thinks the same. We will get into that, NFL, and plenty more as we welcome you back next on Money Moves.
You're watching Money Moves here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Hard to beat this time of year as a bettor, and right now the all-new Boomer Sportsbook is bringing you the action with football, hockey, basketball, and so much more. And get this, use the code VSiN250 when you sign up for Boomer's mobile account. They're going to match your first deposit up to $250 in bonus bets. Plus, you're getting minus 105 on all pro football spreads every regular season game the rest of the way. Download the Boomer Sportsbook app today. Learn more at betwithboomer.com. Must be 21 or older. Terms and conditions do apply. Please bet responsibly. And we're very lucky right now, as we welcome you back here to Money Moves, to have the head of trading at Boomer Sportsbook, longtime veteran odds maker Nick Bogdanovich in studio with us out here. Stormy Buonantony, Jonathan Von Tobel with you. We were just talking about the big Thursday night game that we've got coming up between Seattle and Los Angeles. And will one of these teams establish dominance tonight? How do you see it?
Coin flip for sure. I got no real opinion. I didn't bet it myself. We've been at the Rams 1. Now we're at Seattle 1.5. Obviously, there was some money that came in on Seattle and no Devontae Adams, so that moved the line a little. And the total's been bouncing around as well. Good two-way action there. It was 42.5 down to 42 up to 43, so good two-way there. But hell of a game. It can't get any better for a Thursday night.
From a rating standpoint, where do you have these two teams in the grand scheme of things? I would assume the Rams, you reflect the market. They're the best team in the NFL?
I do.
Yeah.
And listen, Matt Stafford, you got to give him credit for what he's doing at his age. I mean, it's incredible. I don't know if he's going to get the MVP, but I just want to see what the refs do with Puka tonight after he went on the viral rant. I mean, do you think there's any repercussions?
I don't think so. I think there's probably more repercussions for his brother stealing a car than there would be for Puka.
Yeah, not a good 24 hours for the Nakua family.
No,
they'd be struggling a little bit today.
More impressive Matthew Stafford doing it at this age or what Phillip Rivers is doing at his age?
Matthew for sure. But, I got to tell you, I can't – Rivers for 3 days or 4 days of practice with a new team and a new system – going to as brutal as places there is to play in the NFL against that good a defense, he didn't embarrass himself.
Yeah.
So I selfishly have to follow up with that. They've got the Monday night game against San Francisco coming up, and we know the 49ers have some shortcomings when it comes to their pass rush. How do you think that matchup might go?
I think that's going to be a hell of a game. I think Rivers will be just fine in this game after what I saw.
I'm hoping he was going to be sore. Come on.
I don't think he has muscle to get sore. He's got that body. Yeah. He's like 6'5", 230. He never got hurt when he played his first 20 years. So, he got a week under his belt. Now they're at home. I think Taylor will run the ball a little better at home. Like you said, Frisco's missing a lot of defensive pieces. Salah's done a phenomenal job with the 49er defense for as many people as they lost. So, I think someone to win that game is going to have to score some points. I think we're going to see an over in that game.
Rivers famously, of course, playing the AFC Championship game on the torn ACL and MCL way back in the day, too. So, yeah. And we know that he can actually do it. All right, let's go to Saturday then. Green Bay, Chicago. Really interesting game here. It's all over the board. Pick -1 both ways. What do you think is going to happen? Green Bay getting some good news. Sounds like Watson's going to give this thing a go.
Yes, the most injured man in the history of the NFL every year. But I like the move. We opened Green Bay 2, and it's been bet down to pick, and I think the Bears are on their way to 1. I agree with the move. I think the Bears are the right side in this game. I watched them play 2 weeks ago in Lambeau, and Chicago easily. They were there the whole way. Now you factor in the Parsons injury, the war, Green Bay coming off that war with Denver, and Chicago had a cupcake exhibition last week where they just, they didn't stress over that game. So I like the Bears in this game. It just feels like their game.
With the Parsons injury for Green Bay and just the way a handful of these injuries have started to stack up for them, how do you view the Packers in the grand scheme of things when it comes to postseason play? Because early on it looked like they were a surefire Super Bowl contender and then been a little Jekyll and Hyde the rest of the way.
Yeah, definitely stalls it a little bit. If things line up, they can still get it done. Jordan Love, I like Jordan Love. Love Josh Jacobs. I think the defense still has enough. They wouldn't be my first 3 or 4 choices, but I wouldn't count them out. I think they're still in the mix, but I don't think they get the whole thing done.
What about New England? Because they get a pretty interesting one here. Yeah. They blow the game against against Buffalo. Now they get Baltimore. It's a 3-point spread. So the 2-part question is, where do you think this closes? But also, grand scheme of what New England is. How in the world do you price them?
I think New England is sort of like Green Bay. I think they can be a factor, but I don't think they get the job done this year. I think they're still a year or 2 away. Hats off to Drake May and Vrabel. I do like the Ravens this week, though. Laid a little 2.5. So I do like the Ravens in this spot. I think New England, their final 2 games, they'll win, and they'll win the division. But I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl this year.
Okay. We got a big one in the NFC South, the first of 2 games between the Bucs and Panthers going head-to-head. And, I mean, the Panthers are another team. Just what are you supposed to do with them on a week-to-week basis? What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I'm trying to stay away from both teams. I can't believe how poorly Tampa's played in the last 5 or 6 weeks, and you never know what you're going to get with Carolina. Are you going to get the team that beat Atlanta 30-0 or the team that got drubbed by Buffalo 30-0? So don't know what to make of it. I do think that Baker will somehow find a way to win this game. I really do. I'm a huge Baker Mayfield fan. Evans coming back is certainly going to help. He's got a game under his belt. But they got to get stops. Their defense is atrocious right now.
All right. There's a lot of other ways we could go. Very entertaining games. But I do have to ask, I think the most interesting is Kansas City and Tennessee. So to you, what's the difference between Gardner Minshew and Patrick Mahomes? And it's 3 right now. Does it come off of 3? Are we overreacting? I mean, this could be one of those big classic, big let the air out of the balloon spots, right? You've been playing for Super Bowls and you're eliminated. Your quarterback's gone. What do you do?
I said that on a radio spot yesterday. This is the first meaningless game in 10 years for the Kansas City Chiefs. And with Gardner Minshew, you never know what you might get. He might throw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns, or he might throw 3 pick and goes. Yeah. So, but Tennessee, I'll give them credit. They're not very good, but they haven't quit. They played hard the entire year, especially their defense. I mean, their offense has been a train wreck, but Pollard's come to life the last few weeks. But I have no idea what to make of this game. I wouldn't know what to do with it. If Derek gave me house money to play with, I wouldn't know which side to put it on.
I know there are a few other options, so I wanted to get to college football, but is there anything else that you played this week in the NFL before we go there?
No.
Okay,
no.
So then let's go to college football, because I heard Mike Palm talking earlier about at least their handle at Circa when it came to some of these CFP games, that only Texas A&M Miami was really getting a good pulse of the action. These first round games weren't really getting a lot of play. How is it at Boomers? What have you seen?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing, but that's not atypical because 95% of the money will come in the last 24 to 36 hours anyway. So, but that is the dandy of them all, A&M and Miami.
Do you have a feel for it?
I like A&M. We opened 3.5, but the Sharps are on Miami plus 3.5, so I'm going up against some good competition. But I just I like the coaching edge. I like the quarterback edge. I like the fact there's 105,000 crazy maniacs there. So I like A&M in that game.
What about tomorrow night? We've seen this kind of ping pong back and forth. Where you guys been with Alabama, Oklahoma? What do you like?
It's unbelievable. Yeah, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We opened Alabama 1, went to pick, back to Alabama 1. Now Oklahoma's 1. So really good two-way and good two-way on the total as well. So that game, it reminds me of the Rams-Seattle game tonight. They're like mirroring each other. So, I don't know what to make of. I mean, both teams have so many warts. I don't know. I'm rooting for Oklahoma just because I'm a Mateer fan and get rid of Alabama. So personally, I don't have a bet on it, but I am rooting for Oklahoma.
I guess on that thumb, hand, and everything too, this week was the first time in a while that he's been practicing without the tape on it, protecting it. So maybe a good sign that he's getting a little bit healthier with it too. The JMU Oregon game, everybody that I talked to that we have on just says that how Oregon takes care of the little guys and they're going to put the foot on the neck and it's going to be a blowout. Yeah, we haven't seen the number get much bigger yet. Do you think it does on game day?
Are you doing that game?
I am.
Nice. We opened 21.5, and a really good group I respect took 21.5. So they think JMU is going to be in the game. I personally think Oregon can name the score. I don't know if they will because they got bigger fish to fry down the road. So I have a feeling they're going to get off to a pretty good lead and then just milk the clock really hard. So, but it's a great story. I love JMU being in the playoffs. They deserve to be in the playoffs, and but like I said, I think Oregon can name the score if they want it.
It'll be good. You'll have a good game. I promise.
So I obviously am biased in the coverage that I'm doing, and I'm going to be on the JMU sideline. So I would love for it to be a competitive game at some point. But I have gotten to the point, Nick, where I've talked myself into it being competitive, at least in the first half. That they're going to throw the kitchen sink out, unload the clip, put everything into that you can. They
will, no doubt. And they got talent. But I think Oregon's a different animal.
I mean, it's definitely like looking at the measurables, apples and oranges, just physically of what they are. There's no question about it. But come on, guys. I need some positive energy for this thing. Help me out.
I told you I'll watch at least.
Thank you.
Might be one of the few.
Up against Packers Bears, meanwhile. Nick, as always, really, really appreciate you coming in with us. Thank you for this.
Oh, I love being here. Miss Circa, it's a great joint, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Nick Bogdanovich, everybody. Once again, check out all of the options over there at Boomer Sportsbook. We got to step aside. More money moves coming up after this.
You're watching Money Moves here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Nick Bogdanovich for coming down and hanging out with us on the desk last segment. Stormy Buonantony, Jonathan Von Tobel with you. We were going through a bunch of the games on the NFL card, and we do have here at Circa, the Circa Million contest lines officially out going into Week 16 with us kicking things off tonight with the Rams and Seahawks. And it's one of those things where you look at these numbers, and in some cases they can be good to give us a little bit of awareness of where they think that the market's going to go come Saturday, Sunday with a handful of these games. In other cases, just raises more questions.
Okay.
Bears Packers sitting a pick 'em here. What is that like? Does that sound fair to you? Or
wow. What do you think they mean by that, huh? No, I think that sounds fair. I think that when you look at everything for Green Bay, first off, you understand the injuries, you understand Parsons. The numbers without Parsons in terms of the ability to rush the passer are somewhat troubling. You go back to where they were, though, when they just played Chicago. The fact that they covered, everybody keeps saying that, the Bears were right there on the final possession. Well, they were, but they also didn't cover the number. They lost by 7. And so that was, at the very least, a somewhat fair number. So how much do you adjust for the loss of Parsons? It sounds like Watson's going to be out there. I just feel like maybe we're swinging a little too far in the other direction. I mean, just a few weeks ago, the market was telling you there was about a 4.5-point difference between these two teams on a neutral field. And now they're going to be near equals to one another. It just seems like we're downgrading Green Bay maybe a little too much in my mind. So I can understand why this would swing back to pick when a lot of spots are at like -1 right now. Does that make sense?
home field factor play any role for you in this with Chicago?
I mean, you're giving them 2, aren't you? 2, 1.5, 2?
I'm just curious what your number is right now, because
2.
I know it changes, like it fluctuates on a given week, or if theirs was any more significant than others in a division game.
2. So if you're talking about 1.5, which is where some spots are, or 1, they put a pretty slim margin between them and Green Bay, which, again, 2 weeks ago was not there.
So when we had
Do you
Nick
like
on,
one side or the other? Sounds like you're fishing for information and you're maybe afraid to say what you really think. You like Chicago here?
I think the Bears win this game.
Okay, I don't have a really strong read. Like if you really like Chicago, I'm not going to fight you on it.
It's not like I love it, but I thought when the market moved in their favor that was the right side. I do think they win that game at home, but we'll see. The game that Nick said he had no opinion on, that if Circa gave him free money, he still doesn't know what he would do with it, in Chiefs-Titans. You've been pretty bullish, though, on Tennessee plus the points. Now at this point in the week, do you still feel that way? Have you talked yourself out of it, that maybe it's an over-adjustment?
I can just... But I keep asking myself, like, just do I want to put myself through this? You are getting 3.5, so you're getting the hook there. I don't really like Gardner Minshew, but it seems too easy to come in and just say, Chiefs are cooked. Titans are going to give them everything. Let's go, Tennessee.
You sent me that clip of Travis Kelce from the New Heights podcast.
I mean, that too, right? Come on now.
Talking about the team losing Patrick Mahomes and not saying,
no,
we're really hoping to get him back as soon as he can, but saying the Chiefs.
The Chiefs will get him back next year.
The Chiefs will get him back, yeah.
The Chiefs will be in a good spot. He seems checked out. He's not playing well. I thought Nick put it really well. For the first time in 10 years, they're eliminated and they're playing for absolutely nothing. That could be such a letdown. And then you get in the huddle and it's Gardner Minshew giving you the play calls, and it's not Patrick Mahomes.
And it already wasn't working with Patrick Mahomes. And that's kind of what I keep on coming back to, is down the stretch, you've tried to put yourself in positions late in games to force Patrick Mahomes to put the team on his back and win, and it hasn't worked. And now you've got an offensive line that's beaten and banged up, and Gardner Minshew behind that line.
Oh, that's the other part about it, yeah.
So
let's lay it.
So are we avoiding this one as a contest play too? Are there any that you do like?
You don't. Hold on. Well, let's get this out of the way first.
I thought we were going to like the Titans.
But we should also, we should use the Titans. Also, we're the Kansas City Chiefs. We're playing for nothing. So, like, we can take shots. We can do whatever we want here with this entry. Last week, 1-4.
Hey, it's good conversation for what we might actually want to put in the account separate.
Right. Let's go with the Titans.
All right.
Because
we got one secured.
Of the two things happening, we don't play Tennessee and they end up like covering, maybe even winning. I would regret that happening more than playing the Titans and watching them get smoked.
Trying. We are the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. Like,
we have nothing. It's so accurate. It's really depressing, though.
We're playing for nothing.
How our contest selections have gone, and I don't know. It's just very frustrating. Our game theory did not go well when it came to the contest this year. Any others that you like?
Should have shot for the booby. What do you think?
Yeah, we should have. We should have just adjusted course.
We should have, because now we're just like stuck right in the middle. What do you think about Chargers Cowboys?
What's the number in the contest? 2.5.
Yeah, it's right where it is.
Did you see the Matt Eberflus report today?
No.
He's going to be going up to the booth to call plays from up there. Does that
never mind. Scratch it off.
Do anything for you?
Let's scratch that. We're done. He's in week 16. They're moving to the booth. Uh-oh. Watch out. What's the LeBron gift? Okay. Doesn't really do much for me.
I'm not super high on the Chargers.
Okay.
But I feel like every time I've picked Dallas too in the contest, it's been a loser. So I don't know really what to do.
What do you like?
Let me pull up the card again.
Come on now. I mean, I can. Yeah, no, I'm not.
I like the 49ers on Monday night, but
okay, we can use it.
You're okay. Do you
What's the
like
number?
that? 5.5.
I mean, come on now. Do I like that? I got Paul Bovey still sending me DMs about Phillip Rivers throwing for 248. It's funny, there's a common thread between the average age of the people who keep telling me that Phillip Rivers is going to do well this weekend.
Over 44?
A little bit higher. Maybe they see a little bit of themselves in Phillip Rivers' story here, If he can do it, why can't I? You still got plenty of life ahead, guys. It's all right.
Eagles Commanders, 6.5.
Okay. You like it? Roll with it.
I didn't even say. I just said the spread and the teams.
I figured. Well, because I asked you what you like, so
I like
figured, the
Eagles.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah,
but
see?
do you like the Eagles?
That's an easy read.
This
there.
is supposed to be a conversation. This isn't just supposed to be me saying what I like.
I think that Washington is probably more competent with Mariota than we give them credit for. Last week against New York, they closed as like 2.5-point dogs, whatever it was. Never really in danger of not winning that game outright, let alone covering it, obviously. They're viewed as slightly worse than New York, and I don't think that's the case. We've seen Mariota at times push some good teams, was a 2-point conversion away from beating the Denver Broncos. Philly, I don't know. I know they beat up on the Raiders, but I feel like the Commanders are better than
how about this one? After the Patriots got embarrassed against the Bills, they are in Baltimore taking on the Ravens, a Ravens team that I don't think is particularly great.
Ooh, I'm with Nick.
You
I
like
the
Baltimore?
Ravens here, yeah. I mean, this is the issue at hand. You can't really agree on anything for the most part. What about the Bengals and the Dolphins?
Where
Silence.
are we at?
Wow,
Sorry, no, I'm trying to see.
4.5.
4.5.
It's right in front of you.
Quinn Ewers gonna cover first start.
Actually, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bengals defense is really bad, obviously. And if you're going to look, you're at home.
I'm fine with Miami.
You don't have to worry too much. I don't know. I haven't checked the weather. I don't think there's anything inclement coming in Miami in terms of rain. So I think you're going to be fine there. I just think that you're going to probably be able to run the ball relatively well, like you weren't against the Steelers. Ewers gives you at least a better shot at generating some stuff downfield that Tua didn't. Maybe there's something there to just getting a little bit of a spark with Quinn Ewers.
You want to submit early and put the Rams in there since we both like LA?
Yep. So let's.
Because for us,
what do we
at this point, like you said, who cares?
What do we got to lose?
We know we both like the Rams. Okay, so Rams, Titans, 49ers, Miami. I have a question mark next to.
Okay. I view this as an exercise to just get your thoughts on some of these games, especially because you're going to leave, like Jacksonville, Denver.
I mean, my gut tells me Denver.
Okay.
But at 3, so I think my gut tells me Denver wins the game. But at 3, is 3 enough for me to get on board with Jacksonville? They've played so well lately.
Yeah.
But I've had trouble betting Jacksonville all season long. I feel like I'm never on the right side of them. And maybe it's a Trevor Lawrence thing for me where I have a hard time believing that it's real. But they've been really good.
Interestingly enough, the Broncos last week were just about equals or a point better than the Jags in our market power ratings for week 15. And yet here there's about a 2-point gap or so, depending on how you view home field. And one would argue not all home field is worth.
Played such garbage teams the last 4 weeks.
Jags?
Yeah.
And Trevor Lawrence has looked better, but against who is the question?
The Jets, the Colts, the Titans, and the Cardinals.
I mean, one of those is a powerhouse in the AFC. So I don't know about that, but no, but you're right. Even in the Colts game, you get them when they're in a free fall because that's the game that you lose Daniel Jones in. And so you're just completely beating up on a team that had probably lost it all at that point from a mental aspect. I wouldn't say no.
To Denver?
Yeah. And then on Sunday, I'll sweat out the Jags +3. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing around.
Okay, so
all right, I'll submit.
Rams, Titans, 49ers, Broncos, Dolphins. Does that work for you?
Works for me.
Look at us. It's amazing how when there's nothing to play for, we're so much more agreeable
I mean,
than
that
usual.
wasn't really that hard, or that wasn't really that easy.
Yeah, but more often than not, we don't even get through the segment with an answer. So I think this is a win. By the way, if you want to bet smarter this holiday season, VSiN has the perfect gift for you or the sports bettor in your life right now. You can take advantage of our holiday special. Get VSiN Pro access through May 1st for just $79. That's the best bets from all of our hosts and guests, real-time betting splits, AI-powered prop tools, 24/7 video, everything you need, one-stop shop. Don't miss out on this limited time holiday special at vsin.com/subscribe. Unwrap your betting edge today.